Hey y'all, welcome back to Leslie's Mature Makeup and Beauty. Today I thought we would try out the new ELF and Dunkin collection. And then when I was in the Dollar General the other day, they had this WetnWild Photo Focus Matte Foundation over in the clearance section. So I thought I'd grab that and we'd give that a try too. But I grabbed the shadow set from that collection, and then I also grabbed the little coffee lip scrub. I've been using it this past week and I really like it, but that's the shadow palette. You got Boston cream, strawberry frosted with sprinkles, and then chocolate frosted with sprinkles. And several of these kind of look like maybe matte with glitter in it. And these two shades look very similar, but this one looks a little bit chunkier. And then, you know, the deeper browns, one of them looks more like a satiny type shimmer and the other looks more matte. But I thought we would give these a try. And I think I'm going to start out with this Boston cream and see what this yellow looks like in the crease. Yellow's not really a great color on me, but we're going to see what we can come up with here. I'm just going to do my little fluffy crease brush here. They don't smell like anything. And I've watched a couple of reviews, and some people said that these were not, I do have on some eye primer already, not quite as pigmented as some of their other bite-sized palettes. But I only watched like one, because I didn't want anybody else's opinion to sway my own. Which sometimes I feel like if people rave about stuff, then when I try it, I'm a little bit disappointed because I think it should have been better than it was. And hopefully the rain will hold off for a little while. It has been pouring this morning. Yeah, that's definitely got some glitter in it, but I find usually with these mattes with glitter, once you kind of buff it out a little bit, you don't notice that glitter quite as much. Probably going to lay down a little of that pink or maybe one of these browns. Kind of blend up into this yellow. But I want to use maybe this teal or something in this chocolate frosted with sprinkles. I may take, that's showing up just kind of just barely. Definitely see the glitter in it. I think in this same palette I'm going to take this brown here. It looks like, again, a shimmer with glitter in it, and stick that right in the crease. And kind of work it up into that first, you know, kind of yellow shade that we laid down. Oh, and for those of y'all that watched my last video with the Physicians Formula, I used those palettes again and used the shimmers in the palette that had the shimmers in it. I can't remember which one it was. The Butter Believe It. And those things are phenomenal. Super metallic. Of course, if you don't like a super metallic shimmer, you would not like that. But it was, I mean, so far, I don't think this is coming off quite as deep as it looks in the pan, but you know, the other ELF bite-sized quads are a little more on the, what I would call the, you know, kind of buildable side. I think I want to see how this pale pink does. Because it seems like it would be a, I mean, you know, it's really pastel. It almost looks just white on my hand. I'm just going to take that up to the, all the way up to my brow. And that definitely doesn't come off super pink. And this strawberry frosted with sprinkles, this pink shade out here, see what that does on a flat brush. Just kind of a flat, semi-fluffy-ish. And again, this looks like a matte with glitter. See what kind of pigmentation that gives us. I think with a flat brush, it's showing up pretty true to what it looks like in the pan. And you can only get this as, you know, you can only get the entire collection. You can't get, you know, get them separate. So, you know, you can't just pick which one you want and grab it. It's an entire, you get all three. I may deepen that up a little bit with this matte brown in the Boston Cream palette. Take that on a different flat brush. Those two shades together make a pretty, like, mauve-y tone, which y'all know I love. I'm going to add a little bit of that pink back on top of that. Definitely these lighter shades like this light pink in here and then this pale yellow in here don't show up super well. I think maybe if I had on an opaque eyeshadow primer like the ABH or oh, what's the soup, like the P. Louise, something that, you know, actually covers the lid, those would probably show up. I think I may dip into that blue. The shimmers in this palette look more, this first one feels a little bit toppery. So that's what those shimmers look like. They're not super. Now this one right here from the Strawberry Frosted is the prettiest. It's got a little bit of a duochrome shift, and then that's the pink from that palette. The white from the other, even though they look similar in the pan, they look different on a swatch. And then these top three are from the Chocolate Frosted with Sprinkles. But I'm going to try a little bit of this blue and see what it does. They feel more on the toppery side, except for the one from the Strawberry Frosted. It feels a little more substantial, I guess. So I just loaded that up on my finger there, and let's see. See what that does for us. It's definitely blue. Definitely not a shade I would normally wear, I don't think. But you know, we all need to step outside of our comfort zone sometimes and see where it takes us. Not just in makeup, but in real life in general. Yeah, that's definitely, it's definitely got some pigment. It's pretty. It's a little shifty. Just not a color that I would normally gravitate towards. I feel like I need to deepen up that outer corner a little bit. I may go in with this shimmery, deeper shade in this palette and see what that does for me. So far, I don't think the quality in these is bad. I think the two pastel shades are a little bit lackluster, but I'm sure pastels are probably hard to I would think you would need a light colored. Now that's got some pigment. This in the Boston Cream, was not quite expecting that. We'll blend these edges out and make everything look a little more seamless. Just gonna take a big fluffy brush. I was not expecting the amount of pigment in this shimmery shade here. It was definitely packed a little more of a punch than I was expecting. Softened it up a little bit. That's a little better. And I think I may take on a different fluffy brush, take a little bit of this pastel pink and this strawberry frosted with sprinkles. And obviously you could get to where we are now without all these colors. I'm just trying to use as many shades as I can to get kind of a feel for them. I did make a little bit of a mess with that blue under my eye here. Just gonna get that off with a little wipe. And then we'll try out this foundation and then we will figure out what else we're gonna do to these eyes. I wanna use this white shade in the inner corner once we get some foundation and stuff on. And I have never tried this Wet n Wild foundation. Like I said, I've heard good things about it, and it's a lot of people really love it. And I grabbed the shade Buff Bisque, which is supposed to be light, medium, neutral. And I have never used this before. It's got like a weird paddle, like it's like a plastic paddle. So I'm just gonna, let me get this hair out of my face or it's gonna be covered in foundation. Yeah, I don't know if that's my favorite color story as far as the ELF quads go, but kind of a thinner consistent, but I think I'll get some use out of them. The smell kind of reminds me of the Physicians Formula Healthy Skin, you know, that kind of chemically painty type of a smell. This may be a little on the warm side. I have cool undertones, so normally when I grab a foundation, I try to get something that has a cool undertone. But apparently, more people in the world have warm undertones than cool, so that's why, especially like at the drugstore, a lot of your foundations are warmer toned. Which they have gotten better than it was, like, you know, as a kid for me, you know, or a teenager when I was younger, trying to find foundation at the drugstore. You know, everybody was just orange, and we didn't blend anything down our neck. You know, we just had that stark line where our foundation was ten shades too dark and orange, which I always went too many shades too light, so I just looked ghostly all the time. I think now that I've got that blended in, I don't think it looks too orange. And I'm just taking it all the way under the eyes. I don't think I'm going to do any concealer today. Let's take a look. I'm going to dab over with my sponge just to make sure if there's anything extra that I have picked it up. That looks pretty good so far. We'll let that kind of sink in for a minute, and we'll go ahead and do some bronzer and blush and all that stuff. And they had too over in the little clearance section at my local Dollar General, a little Wet n Wild lip gloss, so I grabbed that too. It was like $1, so I thought I would grab it. And I thought I would use today the Hula Bronzer from Benefit, and this is just their medium shade or whatever it is. I think it's the first one that they released. I hate this packaging. I love the product inside. You know, it's a really nice bronzer. And I got this on sale, I think, at like the Ulta. Not this past 21 Days of Beauty, but they one they had back in the fall. Because there's so many good bronzers at the drugstore that I don't know that I could pay full price for this. But you know, $15, I didn't mind that. But I like the undertone of it. I just hate the packaging. I guess it's their thing, and that's just what they do, but it's just not convenient to get a brush in, you know what I mean? Because I like to apply my bronzer with a kind of fluffier brush, so I get, you know, more of a diffused, looks like I've actually been in the sun kind of look. And then for blush, I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I think I may go with the ColourPop in Birthday Suit. This is one of their Super Shock blushes. Oh, I remember this needs a more dense brush. I'm going to use this ELF buffing foundation brush for, see if I can pick some of this up on that. Yeah, probably picked up too much, but y'all know I'm a blush girl, so. I haven't used this one in a while. And I've been trying to really dig into my collection and pull out some things that I haven't given enough love. Which I did send some stuff over to my daughter the other day, so it pared me down just a little bit. That's a pretty pink. But I think I may want to maybe take some on my fingers and zhuzh it up a little. Make the worst faces when I do. The foundation feels like it's just a little bit tacky. It's a pretty pink. It's just a really, I think for my skin tone, I think it's just a little on the lighter side. But it's a really pretty, just kind of a flush of pink. Yeah, I feel like I still need more. Now I've really pinked them up. We may have to tone that down. Story of my life. Alright, so let's finish off our eyes. I think we'll do a little something under the lash line. I'm going to take just on my little Profusion small pointed brush. I think I'm just going to go in the chocolate frosted with sprinkles, this deeper kind of bronzy shimmer, and do a little of that under the lower lash line. I feel like I'm definitely gonna have like blue eye boogers. That shade has definitely got some pigment. I mean, you can see how I just barely dipped my little small pointed brush down in there. Let's see, I feel like we should take a little of that blue under there too. Let's do it. Just on the inner corner to kind of match what we did on the top. I think I need my pencil brush for that. And then I definitely want to take this lightest shimmer in the strawberry frosted with sprinkles and see how that goes in the, I think it was this one, in the inner corner. That's definitely a pretty inner corner color. I'm going to throw on a little bit of mascara here. All right, so that's got mascara on. I just used this Moira Cosmetics Volume and Lifting Mascara. For some reason, I don't remember exactly, but I think maybe it's smudged or flaked or something. You know what I think would be really pretty? Where I overlapped a little bit of that lightest shade from the strawberry palette with that teal. I think that would make a pretty, you know, layer those up. I think that would be pretty. if I didn't already have this mascara on. That might be what I would do. And then we'll throw on a little bit of lips here. I just grabbed my Essence Stay 8 Hour Lip Liner in the shade Tea Time. I haven't pulled this one out in a little while. This is a really good lip liner. I just filled in all of my lips with that, and then I'm going to throw on this Wet n Wild Mega Slicks Lip Gloss in Bronze Berry. And I don't know, when I was looking in the store there, it looked like maybe, well, that's like metallic. Like over in their cosmetics section, I didn't see any Wet n Wild. So I wonder if the Dollar General is not going to carry Wet n Wild anymore. It's not a bad feeling. I feel like maybe I need to lighten it up a little bit since we got all this blue on our eyes. And my favorite lighten it up lip gloss is the NYX Butter Gloss in Fortune Cookie. I'm going to take a little bit of that. But that Wet n Wild one feels good. It doesn't feel sticky or tacky. It's definitely like on the metallic side. And I feel like I'm going to take just a little bit of powder down the center of my face. I'm going to use the Physicians Formula Butter Believe It translucent powder. And just blur those pores a little bit. And just kind of set everything down. I really like this powder. It's really quite blurring. So what are my final thoughts on the newer things that I tried? I think this foundation looks good. We'll take a look at it in, well, I don't know, it may be raining again, out in the light. I don't think these little palettes are bad. Now, like I said, these lighter shades, this pastel pink and yellow, those didn't show up really great. Of course, I just covered up the yellow, but the other shades in here I think did okay. Is it my favorite color scheme ever from these? No, but I think they're good. I think the quality is similar to the other, you know, bite-sized palettes that I have in my collection. And then this little lip gloss feels good. You know, everything else I've used before. I think this foundation looks pretty good. Of course, we'll have to see how it wears, but, you know, based on a first impression, I think it looks nice. But that's what our eyes are looking like, and we'll go over in some natural light so y'all can kind of see this a little bit better. So here is a quick peek out in natural light of the way everything is looking. It's kind of cloudy and overcast. I don't have any bright sun. It's kind of going in and out, but that's what the eyes are looking like, you know, more in real life. And so far I think that foundation looks good. We'll see how it wears, and I'll update you guys later on that. Not in this video, but in a future video. But I thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.